Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I wanted to make a reading video. I've been making a lot of videos and posting it on my other channel, and then I haven't really been looking at this channel. So I wanted to um, make a video before I go out to do a couple things. I have a nail appointment and I'm happy. I'm hopefully going to get my nails done at the place that I enjoy getting my nails done in. I got my nails done once in that place, but uh, it, um, I'm used to getting my nails done like on the East Coast, and I mentioned that they're like bricks, like they don't um get damaged, and I feel that um I did like the other place that I went to, but I have been having trouble with like the powder that they put on top because it literally just like came off of my nails. So I'm gonna do that in a little bit. And then I had a meeting that got canceled. So um, I'm I got ready for the day. So I figured I would make a video now. I'm going to use the Glory to Ukraine Tarot with the Yokai Tarot. I feel like it was a fun combination. Um, I'll start pulling the cards, and I feel like, oh, sorry, I feel like it was a special time, and I feel like there was maybe um that I was ready for delving deeper into the yokai because I've been working with the kitsune for um, years, and I wanted to get this book. It's the Japanese Fairy World Stories from the Wonder Lore of Japan. So it's super inexpensive, and these are the stories that are in the book. I don't read stories as much these days. I mainly read like reference books, but I was looking through the different books that they had out for the topic or the stories that I wanted to read. And I'm really happy that they're shorter stories because you could quickly read it, and it's it is really interesting to me. But this was one that I was gonna order a couple years ago when I was with somebody, and then that was like a different time for sure. I think that there's a lot that I have done and experienced and accomplished in the past couple of years, but I was going to order the book, and I technically did, and then that was the last thing that I was technically going to receive when I was at that location, and I ended up canceling the order. And I thought about um, this book for years, and so I I had it delivered to me. I feel like maybe something's gonna happen because I'm getting like happy energy right now. And it could be like after a storm hit, and it could be or like a blizzard or something. It could be like literally or maybe spiritually in some way, or like the type of life experience. And I'm not necessarily super religious, but I did go to Catholic school for elementary and high school. I went to Catholic elementary and high school. So it's not about taking the storms away from life, it's being able to have a calm mind, calm mind and steady heart when you're in the storm. Because when you're in those moments, it really highlights a lot of things, including um, like your strengths, or even if you do show your strength in other moments, I feel like it really gets tested in these types of moments on whether or not like you'll falter. And then with also like healing type of energy, um, healing is also one where it really kind of gets things into perspective and straight, and like a lot of honesty comes out of the healing process. Which can be more difficult than like being actually stabbed in the back, like those painful moments, because you're having like different types of things confronting you. The card that came out is the Queen of Wands. And there's another anime. I mainly, well, I do revert mainly back to anime that I grew up with. So one of them was like Inuyasha, and it reminds me of like the tree that's in Inuyasha and being tied to the tree, and then there's like the rooted type of energy, but still having a stance, which is actually really incredible because there's like an abundance of energy, or like it's almost as if you took like caffeine or like an energy drink. And I do have my thoughts about caffeine. I'm not judging people that that take or drink a lot of coffee, but there's that mindset there. But with this, it feels like there's a lot of high energy that comes out of the Queen of Wands, and with the wands, it can be associated with passion too, and drive. Um, so, oh, I also have the Archangel Oracle. It's almost like an energy that kind of buckles down too, because as I was saying, like with the storm, being able to maybe even be flexible with maybe different like turnouts, or like how things like turnouts, how things are going, and there could be unexpected things in the works. But it does test your strength, and then it helps you become what you need to be, and you're already becoming like what you need to be because you're going through these things. And if you're being resilient and you keep going no matter how many times like life gets you down, um, you get back up. I have like mentioned this to one of my friends at the organization, and I was like, I might be a thorn to some, but I offer genuine friendship because there was also like a specific situation where um there was scapegoating and then I feel like in terms of strength, um handling your business and then being able to do it on your own without maybe bringing somebody down or involving others. Like you could get help, but I feel like this is one of those things where if you do ask for help, don't give somebody else the burden because there's a difference between having help and then um, your lesson, the thing that you're supposed to go through to learn in life. Uh, you're you're not gonna get it if somebody else is doing that type of maybe like spiritual work or I keep saying spiritual, so it could be like spiritual work. And then my other friend that I was talking to, she was like, why do people think it's okay to like just walk all over you type of thing? In general too. And I think this could be like one of those proud moments of sticking up for yourself and creating boundaries and protecting your heart because you don't need to expose your heart to every detail in life. If it's not necessary, maybe you don't need to call that in. So that was maybe the pre-message. I just feel like after doing this for yourself and not really doing it for another person, and I'm not saying like in the process to screw over the other person. It's more like standing on business, being successful without taking anybody down. And as I was saying, like with the strength, I got strength in this reading too. And it could even be like strengthening relationships. Even if you let something go, um, it's one of those things where, like for me, it was more of a colleague interaction type of situation. But in general, it could be other types of interactions. Because I have the Two of Cups with the Strength here, and then the Three of Wands. So by letting something go of maybe, and when you set that boundary and it wasn't of your best interest, even, and that's not to say that the other person isn't a likable person. It's not to say that they don't have friends. But if they're not a person that brings something to the table, then and not like in a superficial way, but bringing something to the type of interaction that you have, it might be just kind of a glorified acquaintance at that point. And um and it's not wrong to just want to have meaningful connections, and by kind of severing ties with that, you're left with space and an opportunity for an actual meaningful connection to come in. And it doesn't even have to be a person leaving. It could be maybe there was like uh something where life confronted you, and it might not be something that you just you can't really run away from life either. So it's like a buckling down. And as I was saying, with the storm, I feel like the strength is also coming because you were able to um, hold down. I was saying the ship really, but like hold down the fort until like the storm subsided. And it could be like even life testing you to see if you're ready for something that comes in that's even greater than what you were expecting. Like one of those things where if you're looking for an opportunity or a companionship, an opportunity, um, one of the most important questions that comes up is if you're ready for it. And even like if you spent, if you had like a single season where there was some time where you weren't talking to anybody, you did your own thing, um, you were able to accomplish and experience that part of life and not just, I'm not saying you can't have fun, but this is more of uh, building yourself up so when the opportunity does come for that opportunity, you'll be prepared for it. So, and you're not going to be like empty handed because there could be certain qualifications for it. Another strength card, too, because you have courage. This is like the strength card in the Archangel Oracle. Archangel Ariel, be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Comfort, Archangel Azrael, I am with you in your time of need, helping your heart to heal. Clear audience, Archangel Zadkiel, notice the loving guidance you hear inside of your mind or from other people. And then you know what to do. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Because like there could be moments or energy where, because I was watching it came out around the time when I was in, I don't know how long it was, but it was around, it was after I graduated high school, at least a TV series. And it was like a yokai based one. And uh, they were in Japan, and then the girl was uh, given the title of land god, so she took care of the shrine. And there was a moment where there was a lot of heavy energy that was referred to as miasma, and the land god's duty was to clear that energy and to like purify the land. and she had some yokai there that didn't have that type of responsibility. So at the end, she was able to do it, but towards like maybe midway into the episode, she ran away from the um, the shrine because she didn't think that she was capable of it. But like towards the end, when she like stopped, and then she had a flyer because people thought that the shrine was kind of scary looking and it was haunted and everything. The flyer like just kind of blew in the wind, and she remembered that she wanted to show people how beautiful the shrine was and how like how special, and people wanting people to come there to say their prayers. So it was like it feels like kind of one of those things where even if you might doubt certain things, or the task seems unbearably difficult, there might be like a purpose for that. So um for the Glory to Ukraine tarot, it really feels like there's a lot of energy like going into the right direction, because this was you doing something different. Because I feel like you might get into the same cycle, and it happens with different things in life. Like, why does the same things happen in my life? And maybe you might be into some stuff, or like uh even people that maybe you used to associate with, um and there was just going into it the same way, and then things like really shift when you do something differently. And it could be for different things. It doesn't have to be a relationship. Like if you get stuck at the same type of job that you're really not going for, or like getting fulfilled, or like moving up in, like what are you bringing to the table to make a difference in that? Because it's not just like things getting handed to you. So, and this is crazy because this is like, it just seems like a validating reading. Because the obstacle is the Temperance card. And the Temperance card, this is such a good reading, oh my god. Because the Temperance card is like calmness in the storm. Um, being able to have like a steady mind and heart, um, in the midst of like battle, because it's Sagittarius that's associated with this card, which is pretty, it can be like a little bit surprising too, because it usually has like an angel, and there is an angel here that is above um, Ukraine. So, how to overcome the obstacle? There might be things again that sometimes it really is like trusting the process, and there could be like a level of, if you believe, like faith that comes into it, because you might not get like an explanation for why things are happening. You feel like maybe you had this random moment to do this random thing that's not really that random. It's for like a specific purpose for you, or lesson. Um, there it does seem like there are things that may not be the most comfortable, or the things that you know that you've been kind of putting on the back burner, but it keeps coming up in your mind. Like maybe on your to-do list on, I should really get that done, and yet I'm not getting it done. So, um, it it feels like a dormant energy, but it's something that needs to get like taken care of. It's almost like, again, handling business accordingly, because maybe something this might sound drastic, but like to be completely exorcised. Is that what you say? Like an exorcism type of thing? Uh, to really commit to it. Like if there's something that you know for sure is not good for you in life, um, then you keep like doing it or you keep going back to like the same like habits or uh maybe you have somebody that's in your life that you know for sure is just not for you. Like they could be like camouflaged as a snake, you know, or camouflaged but they're really a snake type of thing. So there's just like something that really calls to handle the business. And it might feel out of the norm, especially when you might not have set boundaries in previous times. Um, Especially if you don't like the waiting period, because the waiting period is a super important period. Especially when you work on yourself. And then you get really proud when like an opportunity comes along and you could say, I built this up, or like this is what I'm able to offer uh because I have this opportunity now. In the past, just like reading this reading, oh my god, is there's just like a lot of baggage. And that's what I feel like because the nine of wands, I'm sorry, the nine of swords, and I feel like they go together. And the 10 of wands, it's like there's something really telling about literally about the mental state and like all of that going on in the past. Or well, it was in the past position, so maybe it was like there's steps being taken to move forward from this. And then you have for the future the star card. So that's mind and heart because it's associated with Aquarius. And then the overall energy is the Page of Cups. So there's like almost like a purification, like a pureness of heart. It almost like is innocent too, which in this reading I don't feel like it's a bad thing because it really kind of feels like the heart has healed. Because you know when you're younger and you haven't experienced life and like all the fuckery of it, as much maybe you have. It's different for everyone, but the Page of Cups, it just seems like there's something that the heart healed from to a point where it's ready to have that love in that space that had something else in it before that it didn't belong there. And that kind of reminds me of the conversation of caffeine, where it has like there's like a similar molecular structure to a chemical, and then it blocks that chemical from entering that space that it's supposed to be in. And there's just the clearing of things that didn't serve you or was something that was like, sorry, I forgot what I was gonna go for with caffeine, but there's a lot that I say about caffeine, but there's like a gentleness that comes out of it because when you take out things that just don't feed your soul healthily, like are you gonna feed your soul distress and anger and sadness and memories and like repeating toxic cycles, or are you gonna like be good to your soul and feed it something that actually sustains it and actually like brings it to life, or and not starves it, because like the soul seems hungry, and when you're feeding your soul, like what are you feeding it? So that was the reading. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's been so long. I feel like I check in on this channel here and there, but I haven't really been on this channel. So I'll see you in another video.